Good morning, friends. Adam at Focal Point here, coming to you as always from Focal Point of Minnesota's world headquarters in what is finally a sunny day in Plymouth, Minnesota. Hope you are all having a great start to the week. Today will be our sixth and final installment in this Eat That Frog Personal Success video series. We've gone through the first 5 installments and we are wrapping it up today talking about simplification, the concept of simplifying our lives, which, if you think about it, this is what all the previous steps, all the previous videos have been building to and really boiling down to, is simplifying things so that it is easy to focus on what is most important in our lives, in our businesses, and in our search for personal and professional success. As I mentioned, this is all part of a larger workshop entitled Eat That Frog that I put on, a half-day workshop that blends all these ideas and really gets a lot deeper and goes to actually building lists, building activities. We incorporate things like group brainstorm, some individual work, some video, some chats, some games, all with the goal of essentially walking out of the room with a fully built personal strategic plan that details all the things we've mentioned in these videos and really comes up with a plan for how you can achieve the version of success you are looking for. If this does interest you, I would love to include you in the next workshop. Simply comment below, say, hey, tell me about the workshop, whatever that might be, or reach out to me directly and let's talk about it. Before we get into that, once again, a little bit about me. As you know, I'm a focal point coach. What that means is I work with my clients, with successful business owners, with professionals, with executives, with leaders who are doing well but want to get better. They understand that there is something holding them back from this version of success, this better version of themselves or their business that they see. And it's my job as a coach to work with them to uncover what's getting in the way, determine a plan for eliminating it and building past that, and then driving to that action. And then from there, I'm holding them accountable. I'm keeping them pointed and focused in the right direction, helping them build those good habits, those disciplines that we've been talking about in this video series. So let's talk about simplification. Last video we talked about the idea of complexity. Of sometimes if we're looking at those critical constraints in our lives or our business, it can sometimes just come down to how complex, how many steps, how many tasks it takes to get something done. And if complexity is the issue, the most effective way to remove that constraint of complexity is, frankly, to simplify. Simplify your life, simplify your day, simplify the process by which you get things done. Your goal is to spend more time working on those few things that contribute the greatest value to your life and to your work. The more we can do to eliminate complexity, to strip things down, and to improve efficiency and simplify, it's going to help us focus on the task at hand, on what is most important, and on what we need to do to reach our goals. There are 6 steps in simplification: delegate, outsource, eliminate, consolidate, downsize, and delay or defer. These are the ways to simplify your life and increase your productivity. We will take them 2 at a time. First of all, delegate. Get things off your plate that you should not be doing. We talked about hourly rate early in this series. This is an outstanding opportunity to put that hourly rate into play. If you're a $50 an hour person, don't spend time on $15 an hour work. Delegate every task below your pay grade to the appropriate person in your organization. Now, going hand in hand with that is the idea of outsourcing. Again, we talked about living in the gig economy. There's always someone willing to do a job or a task that either you are not willing to do, unable to do, or just recognize that you shouldn't be doing it. Again, it may be $15 an hour work and you may have to pay them a little bit more than that, but guaranteed it's going to be cheaper than it would cost for you to do it yourself, than the time you allotted to that task. And also chances are they'll be able to do it faster and better than you. You can outsource tasks to other individuals who specialize in that area, which is going to free up more time internally for you to do what is needed the most. So either find those things that you can't or shouldn't or won't do and either delegate them to someone else in your team or outsource them to someone outside the organization. Eliminate. This is the idea of zero-based thinking coming back into play. There are many things that you're doing today that you could frankly eliminate altogether. Just get them off your plate. At one time, they may have been important, they may have been relevant, but now they have no value in comparison with other things that you do or could be doing with that time. Go back to zero-based thinking, study what you're doing, ask yourself, if I had to do it all over again, would I start this same activity? If the answer is no, it's time to eliminate it and replace it with something more important. Consolidation. You can save an enormous amount of time by consolidating several tasks, either for a single person on your team or frankly by doing several similar tasks together at the same time, bunching your tasks together and kind of blocking out your schedule by day. Bunch your emails and your calls. If you need to send a number of emails, send them all at once. If they're all regarding the same subject, you can possibly even make templates. You can copy and paste and make that work go faster. Bunch your phone calls, returning phone calls, making outbound calls. If you're reaching out to potential clients, make them all at once. Two things will happen. A, it gets you into a rhythm of being more comfortable making those calls, sending those emails. And B, it's a lot more efficient to do things all at once rather than do some, go to another task, bounce back and forth. That idea of multitasking, which seems efficient, but really is not. Focus your activity and your time on bunches of activity that are all related so that you can become quicker and more efficient at doing them. It allows you to finish several tasks in a category in one sitting rather than jumping back and forth, and will keep you focused and efficient. And finally, downsize and delay or defer. Downsizing really comes down to the 80-20 rule in effect. We talked about that. That's not just a sales mantra. It works across all factors of business. It works across all factors of life. You can reduce the size of your business operations by essentially trying to eliminate the 80% of the things we do that result in the 20% of actual valuable activity. Again, 20% of our activities result in 80% of the value, and the converse, 80% of our activities result in 20% of the value. So whatever we can do to get rid of and downsize and eliminate those 80% of the activities that allows us to focus on the 20% that are most important is going to obviously make you more efficient and get more done and use your time more wisely. And finally, delay or defer. Find those little tasks that can wait and just put them off until later. Focus on what's important right now. If you are familiar with the Franklin Covey matrix, it's the idea of focusing on the urgent and important tasks and items and allowing those that are less urgent and less important to fall down the list. Complete what's important right now. Like we always talk about, eat that frog, focus on the most important, the biggest task at hand, and let everything step aside so you can focus on what's most important. To wrap up this video series, to wrap up this 6-part series, I wanted to leave you with a quote from Brian Tracy. He said, "The purpose of time management and getting more done in less time is to enable you to spend more face time with the people you care about and doing more things that give you the greatest amount of joy in life." For those of you who started your own business, for the entrepreneurs out there, for the business owners out there, for those of you considering making that move and going out on your own, chasing your own future, this is why we do this, why we went out on our own, or why we're looking into it. We didn't start businesses, we're not considering going out on our own so that we can micromanage people or processes or systems, or be chained to a desk, or work 100 hours a week and live in the minutia of everything. We did it to achieve a goal, to fulfill some vision for our future, to build a better life for our families and for ourselves. Focusing on the right things, on those most important things, and clearing the rest out of the way is our best way to accomplish the goals we've set for ourselves. As always, we go to those key takeaways, those action items. Remember, commit to action. Apply this knowledge. It does two things. First of all, it helps lock in and maximize the retention of what you learned today. And second of all, it gets you moving toward that goal. So in this idea of simplification, where can you focus? Where can you take this? What's that activity, that action that you can execute immediately and get started in order to both cement this idea and move toward a goal you've set for yourself. I encourage you to find that action and get moving toward it. Again, as we always do, let me know what you think. This is the last in this video series. I look forward to your likes. I look forward to your shares. I look forward to your comments. If something in this video or something in the previous videos sparked something in you, it gave you an idea, if you want to discuss something more on any of these topics, or even just in general on what you're trying to do in your career, your business, your life, let's have a conversation. Any number of ways to reach me on LinkedIn or Facebook, or tweet me, or send me a good old-fashioned email, or even just pick up the phone and call me. I want to have that conversation with you. I want to engage with you. I want to learn about what you're trying to do and what you're facing out there. Once again, if you're interested in this longer series, if you want to do this work and really sit down and build a workbook that will give you a plan for the future, let me know. Let's talk about it. Reach out to me. Give me whatever comments you have. I would love to hear from you. I'd love to hear from you and your thoughts on this series and this specific content. Thank you again for all of you who watched. Hopefully you watched the whole series and you gleaned some information out of it. I look forward to hearing from you, and I look forward to seeing how you all get out there and eat that frog. Talk to you soon.